Your biggest ally and the one that is going to teach you the most is really your child. Gender norms, gender traditions, cultures around gender play a big role, but please give a space to the father.
How I also need to be, responsible in terms of my well-being. So that's a very, very important lesson, and the first lesson that my daughter taught me.
Your child is not giving you a bad time. Your child is having a bad time and is really struggling.
Joining us today is a special guest, Chief of Child Protection and Community Development at UNICEF, Soledad and Ravi, who is also a proud mother of 2 lovely boys. As a new dad, I have so many questions for you, but I want to dive into the most crucial one. Where do you go for your parenting lessons?
Well, thanks for the question, Ravi, because becoming a parent is probably the most transcendental, fulfilling, demanding, and important job that you're going to have in life. So definitely I feel that oftentimes we come ill-equipped and ill-prepared. So that's a very good starting point for this conversation. I guess the first reflection, looking back, is to make sure that you look for figures that have the authority, the knowledge, and the expertise, and make a little bit of distinction of what are perhaps beliefs, cultural practices, and what is really the core knowledge of how to approach parenting in the best manner. Of course, health practitioners are a good start, as well as picking up very well who in your immediate surroundings are going to be figures that you want to go to for advice. The second reflection is that, we share something, all of us, which is that we've been the sons and daughters of someone else. So we have all experience in parenting. So I think by reflecting of our own journey with our parents, what worked well, what could have been done differently, I think this is another great sort of learning. And perhaps the most important part is that your biggest ally and the one that is going to teach you the most is really your child. If you connect and if you follow and you trust your instinct, which we all have, you're going to be knowing very well. If you put aside your self-doubt and you really listen to what your baby is telling you, you will be able to navigate very well the parenting experience.
Caring for a child is generally seen as a mother's affair. How do we lay the foundation of co-parenting right?
Yes, gender norms, gender traditions, cultures around gender play a big role. I think it's so important to have a lot of conversations around that with the father. And really from the mother side, I would say 2 things. One is, to really have the aspiration and the demand that equality is actually possible. It might not be in equal terms on certain things, such as, of course, the birthing, the breastfeeding, but there is plenty of scope. The other reflection for the mothers is, please also give a space, because you enter into the tempo of the baby, you're feeding, you really, you are almost become a unit. Then you have this tendency of feeling that you know exactly what the baby needs to sleep, don't barp it like this, right? Yeah. Because you are so connected. But please give a space to the father. It doesn't matter, maybe it changes the nappy and puts the nappy in the wrong way, right? Maybe it's barping in, disastrous way, and it's barping when you can feel that the baby is very tired. Let the father to figure out and give the space. But you also realize that there is so many forces around you, right, that are gonna push you to have this inertia of the traditional roles between mother and father. I'm very keen to also hear from you how has been that journey, and what has been the way in which you and your wife have also tried to move towards the model of equal parenting.
What we tried to do from the very beginning was that I would focus more on taking care of the mother and then the baby. And by doing that, I was trying to, give as much time to the mother as possible to recuperate, to be in that zone where she feels comfortable, where she feels healthy enough or energetic enough to feed the baby, and to also feel comfortable with the changes that she's undergoing. And I still remember when Meera was born, right from the first week itself, I have been equally participating in doing all the cleaning work, helping her burp. I think apart from that, what is really important is how I can give more space to my wife, so that there are days and there are times when she can take rest and also can engage in other activities, which whatever makes her feel happy and content.
So that is a reason why we always say that that it takes a village to raise a child, and definitely the father will always be the frontliner of that village behind, especially in the support of the mother to realize other facets of her life.
Since you're a mother of two boys, I'm really curious to know, are things very different when it comes to raising two boys in the family?
My older child, Leo, he loves wearing bindi and chotis. So he loves doing that. And I've tried to protect him because I've seen people from the circle, just questioning him. Why are you wearing bindi? This is a girl thing. And he has turned to me and asked me those questions. So me, my husband, my immediate family, we're really trying to work very hard that those influences and those stereotypes don't play out. But of course, as the child start becoming an independent being, you see all these forces playing in. My husband is Indian. I come from Spain, and beyond gender, when he was only 2 years, he came and asked us whether he was brown or black or white, for example. We couldn't believe that at such a young age, he's been exposed for, and he was making these questions. This could only have come from external forces. I think it's important to realize that there is going to be what they watch in TV, what they observe in others, and, the importance, once again, of role modeling.
So, since this is the parenting month and the focus is on play, what are the kind of activities that you engage in your day-to-day parenting with your children?
Very, very important hot topic, and probably the most crucial one. We know that in the early stages of parenting, there are three main things that we have to focus on. Parenting is about eating or providing food for the child. It's about love, and it's about playing. And really, there is nothing such as too much of love. There is nothing as too much of play. And why is that? Because play is really the way our babies, our children connect with us. Is the way in which they set attachment and bondage. Maybe a good tip that I can give, Ravi, is kids do not need toys. It is really small things, or rather, it's not that they don't need toys, but you can make toys out of many things. And also, having a lot of assets around the house can also be stressful for the child. And it's just using regular things to really being able to play with them, with the children. Also, as parents, we tend to think that we have to really set time for play in a very specific manner, where actually children, and especially as they move into toddlers, they're going to love doing day-to-day activities with you. As long as you're present, you make it fun, you teach them. So bringing them to the kitchen and start exploring different textures and different foods. That's something that definitely with Kai we're doing. With Leo, with the older one, plenty of outdoor activity. Let's not forget that we need nature, we need that connection, we need a lot of physical activity, we need to run around, we need to understand our environment and be connected with our surroundings. And very, very important last thing, gadgets. You need to be really out of devices. We know that if you are with a child and you have a phone in between, you're really creating a disconnect that is going to affect a lot the rippling positive effect of playing with your child.
What are the key parenting lessons that you have learned in your journey so far?
Parenting is like a landscape where there are plenty of mountains, but also valleys. So if you're in the peak of the mountain and enjoying, just cherish the moment. I'm already feeling nostalgic of Leo growing up. But if you're a little bit in a valley, everything will evolve. Everything will change. I think another lesson learned is if you see bad behavior, your child is not giving you a bad time. Your child is having a bad time and is really struggling. So support your child. One of the most important things in the early stages of life is to help them to learn about their the emotions, to self-regulate. So just walk with them, because if they are throwing a tantrum, if they are struggling, they really need your help. Perhaps the most transcendental reflection that I have is that before becoming a parent, I always assumed that parenting was about teaching and guiding. And I just realized that how much you're going to learn, how much your understanding of the world is going to expand, is going to be as big, if no more, than the learnings that you're going to provide. So embrace parenting, because really your own children come to show you a different way and to make you better, to bring you back to the roots. And definitely I've become a better person because of my children.
Thank you so much for being with us and sharing insightful lessons about parenting.
Thank you for this conversation, and I really look forward for Mira, Kai, Leo, will have fun together.
Sure, thank you so much. As we wrap up today's episode, remember, parenting is not just about guiding your children. It's also about allowing them to guide us as well. Embrace the lessons that our little ones teach us and enrich yourself in this journey of self-discovery.